In the darkest part of the jungle, just before sunrise, something unimaginable happened. A mother deer weak from hunger, yet fierce with love stood at the river's edge. She had already licked her newborn fawn clean and dry after giving birth in the tall grasses, just out of sight of the watering hole. But now he was thirsty. She could see it in his big brown eyes. The water had gone still, too still. The mother deer knew the danger. Still, her baby was thirsty, and she couldn't bear to see him suffer. The world seemed to hold its breath. Even the birds were silent as she stepped into the clearing, her fawn close behind. She dipped her head to drink, but only for a fleeting moment, because in that instant, everything changed. The silence shattered. Something dark erupted from beneath the surface of the water. A massive crocodile lunged from the river's depths, its jaws snapping like thunder. The mother deer barely had time to turn. Its teeth clamped down on her leg, dragging her violently toward the current. She cried out in pain, her heart sinking with a mother's worst nightmare. Had this been her fault? Was her baby next? Most animals would run, most would scream, fight or freeze. But she did something else. In that split second, as the crocodile dragged her into the churning water, she locked eyes with her baby, her whole being focused on the fawn. Then she pushed him back with her good leg, deeper into the safety of the underbrush. She managed to push the fawn away, but it was too late. The crocodile pulled harder, trying to drag her under the surface, and she felt herself being yanked towards the swirling current. She could feel the water rushing over her as the crocodile pulled her under. But then the unexpected happened. When it pulled her under, she used every last bit of strength and kicked off the riverbed. It hurt so much, but she refused to black out. She had to keep going. She couldn't let the crocodile win. As the world around her faded into darkness, she kept pushing, clawing, scratching, doing whatever she had to do to stay alive, and somehow she managed to reach the surface. Gasping for air, her vision blurred, but she could hear the crocodile snapping its jaws impatiently in the water. So she forced herself to keep moving. She had to get away, for herself and for her baby. The pain in her leg was unbearable. Blood trickled down her side, staining the water red. But the crocodile wouldn't come after her now. She had given it the slip. With a final surge of adrenaline, she dragged herself onto the bank and collapsed. The forest floor was rough and uncomfortable, but it was better than the cold, hard grip of the crocodile. Now, nestled deep in the tall grasses, she strained to listen for her baby's footsteps. Each rustle of leaves made her heart leap. But when she heard the familiar sound of tiny hooves pattering toward her, relief washed over her. As her fawn nuzzled against her side, seeking comfort, she knew that nothing, absolutely nothing, would stand between them now. But as the hours passed, the sun climbing higher in the sky, reality settled in. The adrenaline ebbed, leaving her weak and shaky. She licked her baby's head, trying to steady herself. She needed to move, to find shelter and safety, but her leg was betraying her. It was torn open, the bone visible underneath. She couldn't walk. Panic welled up inside her, threatening to overwhelm her. How could she protect her baby if she couldn't move? What would they eat? Would she bleed to death? Too many thoughts raced through her mind, each one worse than the last. Just when her hope began to fade, her baby stirred. Instead of staying nestled against her, he took a tentative step forward. Then another. She watched, mesmerized as he got up on his wobbly legs and staggered toward the riverbank. Fear clutched at her heart. Was he going to make the same mistake as her? Was he going to drink from the dangerous water? But then she saw the look on his face, the thirst, the terror, and she understood. He wasn't going to drink. He was going to check if the water was still dangerous, if the crocodile was still there. As he stood at the edge of the river, sniffing the air nervously, she called out to him, her voice hoarse from fear and exhaustion. He turned, his ears flicking back and forth, trying to locate the sound. And when he finally saw her, wounded but alive, he took one step forward, then another, until his tiny head pressed into her side. She wrapped her remaining leg around him, pulling him close. In that moment, though silent, echoed louder than any roar in the jungle. It was a promise, a vow. Nothing, not even a raging crocodile, could keep them apart. Days passed, each one bringing new challenges and dangers. But their bond only grew stronger. The fawn stayed by his mother's side, keeping her company and helping her whenever he could. He brought her water and leaves, anything he thought might help her heal. And she, in turn, taught him the ways of the forest, how to read the signs, how to stay safe. Together they endured, facing the rising sun and setting moon, their love for each other guiding them through the darkest nights. And then one day, as the soft morning mist was just beginning to lift, they heard the welcome sound of voices calling out through the trees. Rescuers had found her. They were coming to help. Hope surged through her, but she knew she had to hold on just a little longer. For when they arrived, she wanted to be strong enough to protect her baby. She heard the rescuers moving closer, their voices growing louder, and she gathered her remaining strength. She had to show them that she wasn't just a wounded animal, that she was a mother who had fought tooth and nail to protect her child. Slowly, painfully, she got to her feet, her injured leg buckling under her weight. She limped forward, moving as steadily as she could, her eyes fixed on the rescuers. She wanted them to see her determination, her spirit. As she emerged from the thick underbrush, the rescuers gasped. They had found her days later. The mother deer stood a little shaky, but stronger than before. Her leg was bandaged, and her baby was safe and healthy. They had saved her, but she had already saved her child. She had shown him what it meant to be brave, to endure, and above all, to love. Looking into her baby's eyes, she saw not just innocence, but a spark of the strength that had guided her through the darkest days. Watching them both, the rescuers couldn't help but feel humbled. They had rescued a mother and her child. Yes, but they had also witnessed an unbreakable bond, a testament to the enduring power of love. As the sun set over the horizon, casting long shadows across the jungle floor, the mother deer nudged her baby playfully. It was time for rest, time to heal, time to move forward together. The crocodile had tried to take everything from her, but it had only made her stronger. She had faced the darkness and emerged with a love that burned brighter than ever before. She looked up at the star-studded sky, feeling a sense of peace settle over her. The jungle was vast and sometimes unforgiving, but there was beauty in its wild embrace. A reminder that life was worth living, loving, and protecting fiercely. As the night sounds filled the forest, she nuzzled her baby close, whispering silent promises of love and devotion. The scars may remain, but so would their strength, forged in the fires of adversity, bound by a love that echoed through the ages. This is the Jungle Echo Rescue and Mysteries, where the wild speaks and we listen. Subscribe, like, and comment to support our rescue.